Hi, Clips recap here. Today, I'm going to explain a 2015 action movie titled Agent 47. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and thank you. The history of man is all about war. What if we could create a better man? Someone said. The Agent program was initiated in August 1967 by a man named Petr Litvenko. The purpose of the program was to create a perfect killing machine. Human beings without emotion or fear or remorse. The program was a success. Litvenko, unable to bear the guilt of his creation, abandoned the program and vanished. Fearing that it would be exposed, the government shut down the program. Few years later, realizing its potential, many tried to restart the program. All failed. So they turned their efforts on finding the only man who could. The task fell to Dr. Albert Del Riego, a pitiless man, but Litvenko has vanished, and even he couldn't find him after a series of trials. 6 years into his search, he made an unpredicted discovery of a photograph, which will eventually be the key in finding Litvenko. In the Syndicate research facility in Salzburg, where Del Riego is working on finding Litvenko's daughter, they are attacked by an agent called 47. 47 is an agent, a genetically enhanced super soldier created by Litvenko. 47 works as a hitman for the International Contracts Agency, also known as ICA, and has spent the last few years tracking down Litvenko's daughter, Kartaya. He forces them to go out of the research facility and places trackers on the cars before eventually eliminating them one after the other, leaving just the car that is conveying Del Riego to be safe house. Del Riego goes into his office and finds 47 seated and waiting for him. He kills the mercenaries Del Riego came in with. He tells 47 that there's nothing he can do to stop the relaunching of the program and tells him that he's found Litvenko. 47 presents him, and he gives in and tells him the location of Litvenko's daughter. He then goes out and Del Riego tries to pick up a gun and is killed by a bomb. 47 goes out of the safe room and kills the whole mercenaries. In the Syndicate International headquarters, it is reported to their boss that Del Riego is dead. He asks by whom, and they said it was an agent. He says that Del Riego was close to finding the girl, that they should get to her before 47 does. Karsha, living in Berlin under the assumed surname of Van Dies, has worked tirelessly to find an unknown man and is plagued by overwhelming anxiety and a superhuman awareness of everything around her. She goes to different libraries in search of answers, but is turned down and told to go to the police and file a report of the missing person she's looking for. Karsha angrily leaves the library and goes to a place where she buys an illegal passport. She then goes home, locks the door, and stares at her map on the wall. While seated on her bed, she takes her anti-anxiety pill, which aids in suppressing her anxieties and vision problems. 47 is contacted by Diana and is given a 48-hour ultimatum to kill all these targets. He then packs his guns and goes out. Karsha sees him coming in her visions while sleeping and hurriedly packs her belongings and runs away via the rooftop. 47 eventually comes to the apartment and finds an empty room, but also sees a map on her desk and her possible location, which was a subway station. When she got to the subway, she steals from an anonymous woman and is approached by a man calling himself John Smith. He calls her by her name. Karsha then asked him if he was a police officer. He says no. He further explains to her that 47 is on his way here to kill her and offers her protection. While hinting that he has information about the man she's searching for, 47 finds and attacks the pair. John engages in combat with 47. He knocks 47 down the train rails when he was aiming to shoot at Karsha. He leaves 47 there and then runs to meet her. Together they go into a car that was waiting for them. They zoomed off, causing 47 to chase them. She then asks him what was happening. The driver tells her that they are working for Syndicate International Organization. While still trying to explain to her, he's shot by 47 on the head, and his blood spills on Karsha's face. The car crashes, and they get down and runs to an embassy filled with soldiers. John removes his gun and shoots to the air, and is arrested alongside Karsha, while 47 stood afar watching. They interrogate Karsha and asks her why her boyfriend pulled a gun in front of the embassy. She replies and says that he wasn't her boyfriend and doesn't know who he is. She tells them that she met John in the subway and that he was trying to help her get away from someone trying to kill her. They asks her who was the person trying to kill her. She keeps quiet and senses 47 entering the building. She then tells him that he's here and he's coming. While at the portal of entry, 47 is searched and is seen loaded with guns and a sniper. They arrest him as well and puts him on handcuffs while interrogating him. His sniper is kept in front of him. The interrogator tells him that he's a riddle because they've ran his face and fingerprints through every database they got and found nothing. He then sits down and asks him his name. He then replies 47. He asks, "What are you?" He says he's an assassin. 47 then threatens the man and says he'll kill his wife and kids if he doesn't let go of Karsha. While still talking, he hits the table and cuts the chains that were bound to his wrist with a bullet. He then kills the policemen that were behind him and knocks the interrogator out. John, on hearing the noise, breaks through a glass, fights off the policemen and goes to meet Karsha. They run outside and collects a police van from a police officer. 47 tried to shoot with his sniper, but was blocked by a truck. He then runs to the top of the building and gets a clear visual of them and grazes Karsha's arm with a sniper bullet. John and Karsha hide out in a hotel room. She goes to take her bath and comes out. While John was bandaging her bruises, he explains that he is an operative for a corporation known as Syndicate International and that the man she's searching for is her father. He tells her that her dad was the head and lead scientist in the agent program before it was shut down years ago after he vanished. He also tells her that her dad changed her by enhancing her survival skills. She then brings out her father's map and places it on the wall. She asks him where was her father born, how old is he, his medical conditions, what he loved to do, what languages did he speak. Karsha deduces where her father must be living. Before she could tell John, 47 enters the room and shoots John on his chest. He dies while she stood there watching. He knocks her off before capturing her. Once Karsha awakens, 47 asks her if she knew why she's still alive. He then says because he chose not to kill her. He tells her that the Syndicate Corporation will eventually kill her after they've used her to find her father. He comes close to her and touches her shoulders. She has visions of her dad and when she was little. She quickly comes out of it. He then tells her not to trust him, just to trust her own memories. He takes her hands and she sees visions of the day she ran away, her father's lab, the car ride, the last time she saw her mother before she was shot in the head, and a little boy who ran out of the woods. She recognizes the little boy to be 47. She also saw when her dad hit her in order for her not to be killed and ran away. She asks him to untie her. He turns and tells her that she has a lot to learn, and she should untie herself and goes out. She cools down her nerves and remembers how she was tied up and follows the same pattern to untie herself. Coming out of the room, 47 advises her to quit taking these pills because it limits and reduces her strengths. He tells her to stop fighting what she is and she stops him from moving any further. He explains to her that she is an agent like him, designed by her father to be better than even 47 himself. He also explains that her real name is Quatervinctix, which is French for 90, and not Karsha Van Dies, and she is 43 versions better than him. He shows her how to use her heightened senses in combat, and the two fight against Syndicate forces. They are confronted by John, who is revealed to have surgically implanted subdermal body armor, making him impervious to gunshots. John gets hold of Karsha and asks her about the whereabouts of her dad, but she was too weak to answer. 47 eventually comes to her aid. They fight. 47 stabs John with a knife, but it didn't penetrate. Karsha helps 47 knock off John and they go away. 47 asks about the whereabouts of her dad while they were walking. Karsha makes 47 promise that he won't harm her father and finally reveals Litvenko's location, Singapore. Elsewhere, 47's handler Diana, learning of his situation, contacts another agent with a contract in Singapore. John goes back to the hotel where Karsha figured where her dad is, looking for any clue of where Litvenko is. He sees one and calls his boss, who contacts their agents at every entry port into Singapore to be vigilant. On reaching Singapore, 47 disguises himself and tells Karsha to avoid the cameras and then goes away. She walks into a crowd of people and dodges the cameras by all possible means. Coming out, 47 was already waiting for her in a red car. She goes in and they zoomed off. Unknown to her, while going out, the camera outside the airport spotted her. At night, she goes to cool off in the pool and comes back into the room and finds 47 sleeping with these guns kept beside him. She picks them up and dismantles them. At morning, they are attacked by invaders. 47 wakes up to pick his guns, but couldn't find them. He fights the invaders with his bare hands and kills them. After the fight, she apologizes to 47. She tells him that when she can't sleep, she tends to dismantle things around her. He then tells her never to do that again. On their way out, they met a man and his asthmatic son in the elevator. The man pleads with his son to please take his inhaler. The boy eventually does, and while stepping out, 47 gets in front of the boy and swaps the inhaler for a knife, of which the little boy seems happy about it. 47 and Karsha tracks down Litvenko. She meets him in a beautiful garden, where he sadly tells her that she shouldn't have come for her own betterment. He later apologizes to Karsha for abandoning her, saying that he only wanted to keep her safe. While still talking to him, 47 comes and he tells 47 that he's ready in case he wants to kill him, but Karsha assures him that he won't. She says, "We determine who we are by what we do." He tells her that 47 is her brother, leaving her surprised. Just then, Syndicate mercenaries attack them and they are forced to flee. They run into their car and is chased by John. They eventually escapes from the building while John's car crashes. They go into the city and Litvenko is shot and captured by the mercenaries, but not before 47 slips him an inhaler. John tortures Litvenko under the supervision of Syndicate Director Antoine Clerc, but Litvenko refuses to reopen the agent program. 47 hacks into the Syndicate announcing system and Karsha crashes a stolen helicopter into the building. 47 disguises himself as a firefighter to get inside undetected. The two fight their way through Syndicate security forces, and 47 is once again confronted by John. 47 defeats John by electrocuting him. On the rooftop, 47 and Karsha mop up the rest of the Syndicate's troops, but not before Clerc escapes in a helicopter with Litvenko. In midair, Litvenko detonates the inhaler, killing himself and the director. 47 then calls Diana and confirms his first target, Clerc, has been eliminated. When Diana asks about the second target, which was Karsha, 47 keeps mute and drops his phone off the side of the building. As the two prepare to leave, they are confronted by Agent 48, an exact look-alike of Agent 47, who tells them Diana says hello before firing. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notification to watch more of our interesting videos. Thank you.